My child, I understand the struggle you face. I see how tightly you cling to control, to your plans, to your idea of how things should unfold. You may be holding on to your desires, your worries, and your expectations. But I want you to hear this truth today. When you let go, when you surrender to me, you open the gates of heaven in your life. I know, my child, that letting go can be difficult. You are taught in your world to fight for what you want, to push through every challenge and to control the outcome. But I'm telling you now, surrender is not weakness. It is strength. When you surrender, you are trusting in my strength, not yours. You are letting go of your burdens, your anxieties, and you are trusting that I will lead you to a place of peace, fulfillment, and divine purpose. In Matthew 11:28 I say, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." You don't have to carry the weight alone, my child. Surrendering is the first step toward freedom. Freedom from the burden of control, freedom from the fear of failure, and freedom from the anxiety of the unknown. When you let go and trust me, I give you rest. Rest in knowing that I am in control, that I will never leave you, and that I have a plan for your life. But I also know that this can be hard to understand. In your world, you are told to work hard, to push, to hustle, and to keep moving forward. Surrender feels like standing still, but I want to remind you that surrender is not passivity. It is a powerful act of trust and obedience. You are not doing nothing when you surrender. You are giving me the opportunity to work in your life. You are stepping aside so I can take the lead. It is the surrender of control, of the illusion of self-sufficiency, and the act of fully trusting in me. Let me remind you of Jesus, who, even in his darkest hour, surrendered his will to the Father. In Matthew 26:39, he prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." In his moment of greatest distress, Jesus surrendered his will to God's will. This surrender led to the greatest victory in history. Through his sacrifice, the world was saved. Jesus shows us that surrender is not defeat. It is the pathway to divine victory. Just as Jesus surrendered, so must you. When you trust that God's plan is greater than your own, you open the door to his provision, his grace, and his perfect will. Surrendering to God allows you to experience the beauty of his plan for your life. You may not see the full picture now, but trust that every step you take in surrender leads you closer to the abundant life I have promised you. I know the challenge of surrendering, my child. It feels like giving up. It feels like you are losing something important. Your plans, your dreams, your security. But I am asking you to trust me. In Proverbs 3:5-6, I say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." You see, my child, when you surrender, you are choosing to trust my understanding, not yours. You are acknowledging that I know the way forward, even when you cannot see it. The world tells you to take control, but I call you to let go and trust in me. Letting go is an act of faith. It is believing that my ways are higher than your ways, that my plans are greater than your plans, and that my purpose for your life is far beyond what you could ever imagine. There is no greater example of surrender than the life of Abraham. In Genesis 12:1-2, I called Abraham to leave everything he knew and follow me to an unknown land. Abraham didn't know where he was going, But he trusted me, and in his surrender, I made him the father of many nations. Abraham's willingness to surrender opened the door for God's promise to be fulfilled in his life and through his descendants. Your surrender, my child, will unlock the blessings I have in store for you. My child, surrender is the key to experiencing my divine favor. When you surrender, you allow me to fill your life with my blessings. In James 4:10, I say, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up." The act of surrender is an act of humility. It is humbling yourself before me, acknowledging that I am in control, and trusting that my plan is far greater than anything you can orchestrate on your own. Surrendering brings peace, my child. It brings peace because when you let go, you stop trying to force things into your own timing. You stop fighting against the current of my will. You begin to flow with me, to trust that I am working in ways you cannot yet see. This peace comes from knowing that you are not in this alone, that I am with you, leading you, and guiding you toward the plans I have for your life. In Philippians 4:6-7, I promise, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." When you surrender your anxieties and fears to me, I give you peace that the world cannot offer. My child, now that you understand the foundation of surrender, I want to show you how to actively surrender each day. Surrender is not just a one-time act. It is a continual choice, made every moment, every day. It's about releasing control and trusting in my plan over your own. I am calling you to surrender your heart, your mind, and your life to me, daily, without hesitation, trusting that I will guide you toward a life of fulfillment and peace. In Romans 12:1, I say, "Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." Surrender is a living sacrifice. It is ongoing, active, and filled with purpose. When you surrender daily, you are choosing to offer your life as an act of worship, saying, "Lord, take my heart, take my plans, and lead me where you want me to go." This is true surrender, giving your entire life to me, trusting that I will guide you toward my purpose for you. My child, surrender is not always easy. I know there are moments when the uncertainty of the future can cause fear to rise in your heart. You may feel like you are standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure of whether to jump into the unknown. It's in these moments that you must trust that I am with you, even in the unknown. In Psalm 23:4, I say, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Surrender means choosing to walk through the dark valley with me by your side. It means trusting that even when you cannot see the way forward, I am walking with you, guiding you and protecting you. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat onto the water in Matthew 14:29. When Peter saw me walking on the water, he asked to come to me. I said, "Come." Peter stepped out in faith, but when he looked at the waves, he became afraid and started sinking. Yet when he cried out, I immediately reached out and caught him. Peter's surrender to my call was not perfect, but I was with him in the struggle, and I saved him from sinking. Just like Peter, my child, you may feel like you're stepping out into the unknown, and at times, fear will try to pull you back. But remember, When you surrender to my will, I will be with you, even in the storms. You will not sink when you trust me because I will always be there to catch you. The freedom in surrender. Letting go of control to receive God's peace. My child, surrender is the pathway to freedom. When you let go of the need to control every detail of your life, you make room for my peace to enter. You are free from the weight of worry, free from the burden of carrying everything on your own. In John 14:27 I say, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." Surrendering means that you no longer have to carry the heavy weight of control. It's about trusting that I am the one who holds everything in my hands, and that you are safe in my care. When you surrender, you stop fighting against the tide of life and start floating with the current of my will. You rest in my peace, knowing that I am in control and that I will guide you through the challenges ahead. In Isaiah 26:3, I say, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." When you surrender your thoughts, your worries, and your fears to me, I give you peace, peace that the world cannot give. This peace doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on trusting that I am in control. Let me share with you a real-life story of someone who surrendered their will to my plan. This is the story of Lena, a woman from California who had been struggling with her career. Lena had always dreamed of becoming an artist, but she was caught in a job that didn't fulfill her. She spent years trying to juggle both, a job that paid the bills and a passion she felt was never truly realized. Lena had deadlines, plans, and expectations, but despite her efforts, nothing seemed to work out. She felt frustrated, and the more she tried to push for her dream, the more exhausted she became. One night, Lena prayed a prayer of surrender. "Lord, I let go of my plans. I give you my dreams. I trust that you will guide me toward the path you've designed for me." Shortly after, Lena was offered a job to work as an art director for a creative company, a position she never expected but had always hoped for. The position combined her passion for art with a fulfilling career, and she realized that when she surrendered her timeline to God's will, He provided something far greater than she could have imagined. Lena's story is a powerful reminder that when you surrender, you open the door to the blessings I have prepared for you. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. It means allowing my perfect will to unfold in your life, and that will always be far more rewarding than anything you could try to control on your own. The healing power of surrender. Letting go of the past to embrace the future. My child, there are some of you who are holding on to pain from the past. You are carrying emotional burdens, regrets, or bitterness that weigh on your heart. And you may wonder, how can I surrender that pain to God? How can I let go of the hurt? Surrendering the past is an essential part of healing. When you surrender your hurt to me, I replace it with my peace and my love. In 2 Corinthians 5:17 I say, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone. The new is here." Surrendering means letting go of the old, the broken, and the painful, so that I can make all things new. It means trusting that I will heal your wounds and give you the strength to move forward. Just like Joseph in Genesis, who was sold into slavery by his brothers, you may feel betrayed, hurt, or abandoned. Joseph's brothers meant evil against him, but I turned his circumstances around for good, and he rose to a position of great authority. In your life, Surrendering to me allows you to heal and experience the blessings of redemption. Your past does not define you, your surrender to me does. My child, today is the day for your surrender. Surrender your plans, your fears, your worries, and your hopes to me. When you release control and trust in my timing, I will open the gates of heaven in your life. I will bless you with peace, with provision, and with the strength to move forward in my will. My child, I want to take a moment to explain just how powerful surrender can be in your everyday life. When you surrender to me, you not only open the gates of heaven, but you also open your heart to the transformation I want to bring into your life. Surrendering isn't just a one-time event. It is an ongoing act of faith and trust. In Romans 8:28 I say, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." When you surrender, you are trusting that I am working for your good, even when you cannot see the outcome. Surrender brings transformation because it allows you to trust that my purpose for you is greater than your own plans. It is about letting go of the limited view you have of your life and stepping into the broader perspective of my eternal purposes. When you let go of control, my child, you make space for me to move in your life in powerful ways. I want to take the broken parts of your heart, your past, and your struggles, and turn them into something beautiful. The very things that you have tried to control and hold on to, those are the things I can use to bring healing and restoration. Surrender allows me to step in and do the miraculous in your life. My child, one of the most powerful aspects of surrender is letting go of fear. I know that fear often stands in the way of your surrender. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of disappointment. These are the things that keep you holding tightly to control. But I want to remind you, fear has no place when you surrender to me. In 1 John 4:18, I say, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love." When you surrender to my love, you are free from fear. Perfect love casts out all fear, and my love for you is perfect. I am with you always, and I will never leave you or forsake you. When you trust in my love, you are no longer ruled by fear, but by faith. Fear will try to creep in, but remember, surrendering to my perfect love will give you the strength to overcome any fear that comes your way. My child, living a life of surrender means trusting me in every area of your life. Surrendering is not just about giving up control over your plans. It's about trusting me with every relationship, every decision, and every part of your life. In Matthew 6:33, I say, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." When you surrender every part of your life to me, you open the door to receive everything you need. Surrendering your relationships to me means trusting that I will guide you toward the right people and away from toxic influences. It means trusting that I know what's best for you in your friendships, your marriage, your family, and your career. When you surrender your relationships, you allow me to shape them and align them with my purpose for your life. Surrendering your decisions to me means seeking my wisdom before acting. It means coming to me in prayer for guidance, trusting that I will lead you in the right direction. In James 1:5 I say, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him." When you surrender your decisions to me, I will give you wisdom and clarity, to make the right choices. Let me share with you another testimony of surrender, a story of Rachel, a woman from New York who was facing a huge financial challenge. Rachel had been struggling with debt for years and had tried everything to get ahead. She worked long hours, cut back on expenses, and even took on extra jobs. But no matter how hard she worked, the debt seemed to grow. She had set a deadline for herself. By the end of this year, I will have paid off everything. But as the year went on, Rachel's burden grew heavier. She found herself exhausted, overwhelmed, and discouraged. One day, in the midst of her struggle, Rachel prayed and asked me for guidance. She felt a deep sense of peace wash over her as she realized that the more she tried to control her situation, the worse it became. That was the moment she decided to surrender her finances to me. Rachel prayed, "Lord, I give you my finances. I trust you to provide for me in ways I cannot understand. I surrender my debts, my bills, and my fear of the future to you." The very next week, Rachel received an unexpected check in the mail. It was a refund from an overpayment she had made years earlier, an amount that was enough to pay off a significant portion of her debt. As Rachel continued to trust me with her finances, she began to see more opportunities for income, and within a few months, her debt was cleared. What she couldn't do on her own, I did for her when she surrendered her financial struggles to me. Surrendering the future, trusting that I am already ahead of you. My child, surrendering also means trusting me with your future. I know that many of you worry about what's ahead, about your career, your family, your health, your future. The uncertainty of what is to come can cause anxiety and fear. But I want to tell you this truth today. I am already ahead of you. I know the plans I have for you, and those plans are filled with hope, peace, and a future beyond your imagination. In Jeremiah 29:11 I say, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." You do not need to worry about the future, for I have already prepared the way for you. When you surrender your future to me, you can walk forward in faith, knowing that I am already at work in your life. Surrendering means letting go of the need to control your future and trusting that I am guiding you every step of the way. You don't have to have all the answers now. Just trust that I am with you, and I will lead you into a future filled with hope and purpose. My child, today is the day to surrender. Surrender your plans, your fears, your hopes, and your future to me. Trust that I will guide you, provide for you, and lead you toward the life I have prepared for you. Let go of the burden of control and step into the freedom of surrender. If this message has touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear that surrender is the key to unlocking heaven's blessings. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can continue to receive more messages of faith, peace, and divine encouragement from God's sacred voice. God bless you, my child. Surrender today, and watch as I open heaven on your behalf.